Alright everyone, it is Dokkan time again, and today's how to build is going to be for the newly EZA'd Halloween unit from last year, Goten Kid and Icarus Jr. Yes, this unit came out in the Halloween event of 2024 on Dokkan. I did not make a build for him at the time because I did not feel like he was worth putting a build for, but 1 year later and here he is with his EZA, and honestly, he's not that bad. I actually kind of like him. And of course, I love the art. The art is cute as heck. So, anyways, if you're new to the channel, my name is Joe Saiyan. I'm a Saiyan bald man, and I make Dragon Ball videos, in particularly Dokkan and Squadra right now. Gekishin Squadra, if you have not heard of it. And, yeah, if that sounds good to you, please go ahead and go make a friend with a dragon so that you can both hit the like and subscribe button and support me. And, yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. So, as per usual, we're going to go through the breakdown of the unit first, defense numbers, build suggestions, and then, of course, roll tips. So, but little bit disclaimer here, this is a free-to-play unit. You can grind him up anytime you want now. Now that it's been a year and this is his second comeback, that means you can pretty much go into, use your story keys and just go to your portal memories and grind him up anytime later on. He is free to play, so choose how to build him however you wish. Full dodge is fine, entirely up to you. But I do have two suggestions, and yeah. So, 200% leader options are pretty decent. I like most of the leaders you can rock this guy onto. Though, in particularly, I think you're pretty much trapped to two specific teams, at least at the time of recording. I do think that the AGL Kid Goku team is a very good team to be rocking under. You know, Dragon Ball Saga, Earthbred Fighters with Youth, and Dragon Ball Seeker, I do think there's a very good amount of characters to be rocking along to help this Kid Goten thrive and be very good on the team. But I also do think that this Super Saiyan Gohan right here, LR, that I'm not really sure how many people actually summoned for, but he is the best leader for this guy, hands down. Like, completely will be very... Your mileage will vary heavily comparative-wise if you use a different leader. Like, this is the leader, and it's mostly pertaining to the exchanged part of this unit when you go into Trunks and Goten, and you activate their active skill, which gives a 20% boost to youth category allies. Basically, if you double lead this, that's a 40% attack and defense boost, and it is huge for this unit, especially being that they are a free-to-play unit. Now, as far as their leader skill goes, it is Bond of Friendship category key +3 and HP attack and defense of 77%, or int types key +3 HP attack and defense of 50%. Their super attack is greatly raising attack and defense for 3 turns, causes supreme damage to enemy, and greatly lowers the enemy's defense. So already you do have a very big reason to be wanting additional attacks to go off, as it will carry over into the next turn, which will definitely make a huge difference as to how big the defense and damage for this character will be. Now, basic effects are key +1 attack and defense of 250%. Great chance of key +1 attack and attack of 250%. Launches an additional attack that is a 70% chance of becoming a super. Recovers 7% HP. 50% chance of recovering 7% HP again, and recovers HP with sweet treats. You think the unit recovers health, guys? When attacking with 12 or more key, attack and defense of 200%, and then 30% chance of performing a critical hit. 30% chance isn't bad, it's something. 30% chance is the equivalent of a level 15 crit, so, I mean, take that as you will. Now, when there is another Bond of Friendship category ally attacking in the same turn, key +2, damage reduction rate of 35%, and for the first turn in the that you show up on rotation with a Bond of Friendship ally, damage reduction rate will be increased by 35%, along with all allies' attack and defense of 35% for 2 turns. So just keep in mind that the first appearance of this unit, while there's another Bond of Friendship ally on the same turn, he will have 70% damage reduction. This is pretty huge, but I mean, it's not to say that it's going to be like, yeah, you can throw him into slot 1. No. I don't think he's slot 1, not without getting like an extra 20% somewhere. But either way, nice to have, not necessary though. Now, when there is another Goku family category ally attacking in the same turn, 50% dodge chance and launches an additional attack that has a 50% chance of supering. So he's got quite a bit in this kit. I'm not going to lie to you. There's quite a bit here. So first thing to keep in mind, he greatly raises attack and defense for 3 turns. So additional is already very much helpful here. He's getting 1, let's see, you have your initial super attack. You get this 70% chance right here, and then you get another 50 down here. So just initially, he has 2 chances to additional super, and then your hidden potential. So this unit can super attack 4 times within a turn, technically speaking. Is it going to happen? Probably not that often. I don't think he's going to super very much. I think you'll get your initial super, you'll get the 70% chance, and if you're stupidly lucky, you will get that 50% chance or the hidden potential specifically to drop. Now, if anybody watched the LR Chi-Chi video, you'll notice that this has returned, which is just launching in it. Oh, wait. I take that back. Forget what I was about to say. My point is I don't think this last part of his passive is going to activate that often. And obviously, his hidden potential is based on how much you bump into his additional. So, if you follow my guide and do that 27, that'll be a 54% chance to additional. Now, his link skills are Kamehameha, the Innocents, Prepare for Battle, Saiyan Lineage, Saiyan Warriors, All in the Family, and Shattering the Limit. He is on several actually good, decent categories. But I will say his link partners are probably pretty far and thin apart. You're probably not going to link with a lot of good meta-worthy units as far as like the whole kit-wise. There's plenty of free-to-play units in here to be rocking and have fun with. I do think the other Icarus-esque unit with the Kid Gohan and Icarus unit, you know, on a free-to-play team, this could be a fun rotation. I remember this being a thing last year as well. I thought it was a very cute rotation to be rocking in free-to-play content, and I still think you could today in free-to-play content, of course. Just a satisfying rotation, really. But yeah. We'll get more into that, into the role tips, but from here on, I want to go ahead and go look at the defense numbers. Alright, so these defense numbers are complements of Halvard, so they are pretty good on a full, kind of like Icarus, full Gohan, Goten Trunks unit team with double actives going off. I think if they got 4 stacks all the time, I would be insanely impressed with this unit, because this free-to-play unit, yes, free-to-play unit, has a massive, insanely high level of defense at 5,300,000. 5.3 mil defense for a free-to-play unit is absolutely insane and awesome. But we do have to keep in mind that this is under the scenario that you have actually quad supered the previous turn and then the next turn as well. What this means is that you have super attacked 4 times from the last turn and 4 times during the next turn. The amount of RNG that would be required for this is actually insane. And yes, it would be epic for the time that it goes off, but I don't think that it's realistic, and I apologize that it's not realistic in my personal favor. This is also like requiring you to actually have the Goten and Trunks exchange unit super attack / dodge in order to get this increase. Now, what we mean by this is that this unit right here, the Gohan unit, once you exchange into the Goten and Trunks right here, then they actually get to do their 18 key, which is raising attack of the allies by 50%, but also has a 70% chance of raising allies' defense by 50% for superclass allies. So you're already, once again, at the mercy of RNG. You have only a 70% chance for this to even proc on the Goten and Icarus. So with that in mind, you have to you have to have the start of turn defense, and then you have to have a 70% chance of this going off, and then you have to have your initial super go off, and then you have to have a 70% chance for the additional to go off, and then you have to have a 50% chance to go off with the third additional, and then you have to go for another 50%. I'm sorry. But anyways, my point is it's very RNG heavy to hit this point, but the maximum possibility is there, and it is very good. Now, because I asked him to, and because Bloodraven is such a chill and awesome dude, he actually humored me and gave us some defense calculations for a more, realistic approach of only 2 of the 4 super attacks potentially going off, with the Goten and Trunks and the same situation where they get their, their super attack and dodge off, and then you magically get 4 super attacks going off. With only 2 stacks from the previous turn, you're actually still up to about a 4.3 million super. That's actually pretty good. I'm a little shocked about how good they are, and I'm actually really happy that even with only 2 super attacks from the previous turn, we're still at a very nice 4.3 million defense right there. And I have to say that that's pretty good, especially with that only taken into consideration of prepared for battle for 5% or the 5% from Saiyan lineage. So that means that the defense can only get better. So now, the only thing to keep in mind with this unit, went back too far, is that there is nothing else really in here other than the 35% damage reduction. So the 35% damage reduction definitely will help, and one of my suggestions as a partner for this unit would be the physical Path to Power Kid Goku, because that unit can supply with an extra 8% damage reduction on top of this, so long as you get the right acquired orbs. Let me just, you should be able to throw that Path to Power Kid Gohan, or Kid Goku, onto either the AGL Kid Goku team or onto this Gohan team. That should be on. You're not going to have a lot of links going off with them, but that's not the point. The point is that you will supply 8% extra damage reduction so that you can have a 43% damage reduction rate. 43% damage reduction along with about a 4 million potential defense. That's really freaking good, actually. Hold on, let me go do the math. All right, so I'm going to use this website as a example. This is a Dokkan damage calculator.net, and essentially, if you have the Path to Power Kid Goku's extra 8% damage reduction on this guy, at 43% damage reduction with a 4.2 million defense, if you took a 6 million super attack, you would actually take double digits. Short of being a type disadvantage, ignore the STR typing right there, but short of being at type disadvantage on versus an extreme versus the opposite typing, you would actually be safe. Now, if we just lower this down to the normal 35%, then we can see what the difference would be. So we actually would take bleed through damage from an extreme type unit. So an extreme type unit would actually do 350k damage otherwise if they actually were doing 6 million damage. So, versus a super type, you're pretty much safe right there on a 6 million super. A free-to-play unit tanking 6 million is pretty nice. Now, mind you, we're taking 9 mils, 9 mil is, you're gonna die. It's just the way it is. I don't expect to be able to take this unit into serious content because you're not going to be able to. You need a lot more damage reduction or guard to come into play here to actually be able to tank anything. So if there is a tech type boss and you go ahead and pop in that guard for type advantage, I think you'd be pretty safe. But otherwise, yeah. But anyways, I was just kind of going off there defense-wise. Anyways, let's just go ahead and get into the builds for this guy and go ahead and move on with our day. So the first build I'm going to suggest is just a full dodge build. He's pretty much here only to... Honestly, I don't know. What is he here to do? He's not really supporting allies. He's just recovering health, and he's doing a little bit here and there. So although I wouldn't say he's necessarily a support unit, he essentially is kind of just there for quote-unquote support for this all allies attack and defense of 35% for 2 turns. So yeah, I would say he is a support unit that's just kind of needing to be there every now and again. And because you can freely float him off and still have his stacks from his previous turn, so long as you keep making sure he gets a couple super attacks in, I'd say he's pretty safe in all honesty to float or to keep on rotation so long as you're protecting him. He's pretty safe for 6 million super so long as you had at least 2 supers the prior turn and you tripled to quad super at the very least. So I think he's pretty good on that matter, but you know, maybe it would be better to go for the second build and go for a full additional build so that you can make sure that you get to that potential triple or quad super and get as many stacks from your previous turn as possible. I think that might be another potential build that people should go with. So once again, either going for a full dodge build right here where you will be at a natural level 20 because he's an intelligence type. He starts off with level 5 dodge, and then you put all of the equipment slots at level 5 on silver and gold to dodge and level 2 dodge on bronze to get you all the way up to a 32% chance to dodge. You'd be left over with at least a level 6 additional chance, which is a 12% chance to additional. But I do think there are some people that might find the full additional build a little bit better since he does have some decent play here on the Super Saiyan Gohan and Goten and Trunks exchange team. I think he could be definitely semi-usable as long as he's getting his additionals off and you're being wary of where super attacks are coming in. I think he could be safe to run with a full additional build. Please do let me know how that goes for you if you choose to do so. Now, after that, this is the end of the video, basically, but we're going into role tips. He's basically a support unit. He is Extreme Z Awaken free-to-play unit. These are his 2 primary leaders. I would suggest he has plenty of other leaders that you can go ahead and utilize. I would not suggest necessarily all of them, but I would say that the Super Saiyan Gohan is his best leader, of course, and he will not get any of those defense numbers otherwise. It will be much lower, if not on this guy's team. So, partner-wise, I would just honestly suggest pumping him with the Path to Power Kid Goku so you can get that extra damage reduction chance, or to make sure that he just stays on rotation, specifically with the Gohan, Goten, and Trunks exchange unit, to keep up the defense potential from when they can dodge in slot 1. And then, of course, you have some other kind of random options. AGL Kid Goku with his All in the Family. And then you also have the Gohan Icarus unit for a fun free-to-play rotation. And I did throw the STR Pan in there because, once again, we have All in the Family. She's a general support unit for youth types. So I think she could be a potential unit to be throwing onto the team to support as well. And best slot position is just straight up slot 3 in general. But if you're in a free-to-play content area, or if you want to be ballsy, you can definitely throw him into slot 2 so long as you're making sure he's safe. And just keep him on rotation with the Goten Trunks. I think you could potentially do it. It's gonna be very RNG heavy, but you could do it. Otherwise, I would just suggest floating him for his support and waiting for him to come back around. So, I think that's gonna be about it. Yeah. I kind of rambled on about this guy, and I did so because I think he's actually pretty decent for a free-to-play unit. I think he's going to be fun to run, and I do look forward to some people's comments on what kind of team, buffs they've decided to try and buff this unit up with, what kind of stuff you're doing with them. But anyways, thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you have a good day and a good night.